and welcome to the series where I talk about all things pregnancy and postpartum related. I am currently expecting baby number 2, and I'm really excited to be on this journey with you. Today we are going to talk about birth plans, how to make a birth plan, what you should include on it. I like to preface this topic by saying that I am not going to include any of my own personal opinions in this video. It is totally up to you as to whether or not you want to have a medicated or unmedicated birth, or whether you choose to circumcise or not. I am going to keep my opinions on those things completely out. I don't think that's necessary, but I do want to cover all of the major points and talk a little bit about what it is that you should be having on your birth plan if you just found out that you're pregnant or your due date is coming up and you're a little bit overwhelmed and you want to make sure that you don't leave anything out. First things first, where do you want to give birth? Do you want to give birth at a hospital, at home, at a birthing center? If you do decide to do a home birth or give birth at a birthing center, I do suggest having on your birth plan where you might want to be transferred to, just in the case that you do need to be transferred to a hospital. It's nice to kind of specify which one. Next thing is support. Who do you want informed when you go into labor? Some people just want their partner and them, and they let their family know after the baby comes. Some people want their entire family called immediately. Either way, it's all good, but just make sure that you and your partner are on the same page as far as who you want to know that you've gone into labor. And on the topic of support, are you going to be hiring a doula? If so, who is your doula going to be? Now let's talk a little bit about labor and delivery. Do you plan on doing a natural birth, or do you plan on utilizing an epidural? Obviously keep in mind that birthing centers don't offer epidurals, so if you do want an epidural readily available, you will need to go to a hospital. Next is the environment. Do you want to have a silent birth? Do you want music playing? Do you want meditation playing? Obviously, this could change in the moment. I certainly thought that I was going to be playing my specific playlist with my first son. That was not the case. I was just in the zone, didn't matter. I think at one point we put Harry Potter on the TV to distract me. Like, sometimes you don't know how it's going to turn out, but I think it is good to have this in your birth plan and this conversation with your support team. Also, on the topic of environment, if you do plan on having a natural birth, do you want to give birth in water? Are there specific positions that you envision yourself being in? A water birth is something that you've always dreamed of, and it's something that you've always seen yourself having that conversation, making sure you guys have the tools, everyone is prepared to create that environment for you. Next thing to think about is, how do you feel about interventions? Are you comfortable with assisted delivery? Are you comfortable with a doctor using forceps on you or doing any sort of vacuum extractions? Are you comfortable with the doctors utilizing Pitocin to help speed along the process through labor and delivery? All very important things to have on your birth plan, especially if you plan on giving birth in a hospital. So note, in the case of having a C-section, or even if you have a planned C-section or scheduled C-section, do you want it to be a gentle cesarean, which is a somewhat newer term, but definitely something to look into. After the baby arrives, how do you want to deliver and store your placenta? Do you want to deliver your placenta on your own, or do you want it to be assisted? And do you plan on turning your placenta into encapsulations or anything like that? If that's the case, oftentimes you do need to put it on ice. Sometimes hospitals don't have or provide ice or any sort of ice bucket. So just kind of being prepared ahead of time, talking to your doctors, talking to your midwives about what you plan on doing with your placenta and the best things that you can have to be prepared to store it. Do you want delayed cord clamping? And if you do, I would specify how long. One has a different view as to what delayed cord clamping can look like. With my first son, I did put it on my birth plan, and the doctors were like, 60 seconds, that's delayed. But you know, some people prefer for it to be up to 20 minutes, or when it goes completely white, there's no more blood left in the cord. I would just specify on your birth plan, how long do you want until the cord is clamped. Same goes for immediate skin to skin, and also considering, do you want the doctors to be wiping the vernix off the baby, or do you want to keep the vernix on? A lot of hospitals in the United States are not offering circumcision anymore, and you typically would get them done with the pediatrician, but some hospitals do still offer circumcision. So just noting in your birth plan, do you plan on circumcising or not? Finally, right after the baby is born, the doctors are going to want to administer 3 different things. So just being really clear on your birth plan about whether or not you want these things administered to your child. The first is going to be the Hep B vaccine. The second is going to be vitamin K shot. And the third is an antibiotic eye ointment. So doing your own research on these 3 things and specifying if these are things that you want done after your baby is born. That's it. We covered where you want to give birth, what you want the environment to be like, who you want there, what you want your support system to be prepared for, as well as delivery, whether you want assisted delivery options, natural birthing options, possible gentle cesarean, and getting really clear about what it is that you want to be done after baby arrives. And that's it. If there's anything else that you included on your birth plan, please let us know down below in the comments. Congratulations on your pregnancy. I hope that it is a magical time for you. Feel free to subscribe for more. I'll be posting all sorts of videos on all things pregnancy and postpartum related.